Hare Krishna devotees. I'll start with the Mangala Charan prayers. Om Adhanatimirandhasya Dhananjaya Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशोत्तारिणे वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna devotees, I am still waiting. Shamkun Prabhu is just going to share. Yeah, he has just shared now. So let me just start.
Mataji, you can start at around the 18th minute, Mataji.
18th. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you for the invitation.
Sharbari Mataji,
Yes, Prabhu.
in this lecture, there will be in between some singing, bhajan, and everything there. So
Okay.
that can be forwarded in between.
Uh,
But you can start for now.
yes, Prabhu. I'll do that.
Not just 45 minutes class, keep whatever you need to make yourself feel comfortable, relaxed. And it's going to be, at least for me, I'm pretty excited. We had a very short period of time to get this whole thing together. Though the schedule says, japa and inner work, Hemangi Devi Dasi, but actually it's 9 of us who are putting the presentation together. And I'm very grateful to the other 8 participants. Literally, it's all last minute, call. We are trying to put something together. And what I shared with my team is that, and that we have heard it many times, Maharaj say this, the perfection is in the attempt to do things to please Krishna. It is not how musical it's going to be or how wonderful I'm going to speak. I myself have a lot of blocks sitting here to talk, and I'm telling this to myself and my team that we want to have a wonderful experience of coming together. And to actually, what I'm looking forward is, it's easy to feel Krishna's presence when things are perfect, like in perfection to see Krishna. But we don't know how this is going to turn out because it's so much last minute, but we genuinely wanted to all of you to have that experience. And in the process, we are hoping Guru and Krishna are pleased. So we as participants are hoping that we will experience Krishna in our imperfections, if there are going to be any imperfections. So I'm quite excited about that. And actually, I'll start with our youngest member, Vishakha. She's from Boston, and all my violin players that I was thinking, they were all, unavailable. And I see Atulya Mataji the day before yesterday, as she was leaving for the night, she had this Vishaka's violin in her hand, and I was here and she was near the door. And I said, oh, I forgot, Vishaka plays violin and she has her violin here. Unfortunately, I had to miss Maharaj's class yesterday because Sham Sakhi was not going to be there today. And she said she can coach little bit Vishaka, with certain things. And Vishaka was, yeah, I can do it. I said, I wish I have that kind of confidence. Some are much younger devotees or younger in Krishna consciousness. You may find some inspiration. Some may struggle to visualize and connect. When you say connect with the heart, sometimes devotees say, what does that mean? So for such devotees, maybe this may be an example of what it means. So it will mean different things to different people, but different devotees, but at any point of the workshop, you're feeling exhausted and tired, don't hesitate to get up and leave, or you don't find this to be meaningful for you, because I strongly believe that when we do these things, collectively what we bring in actually creates that experience. It's not just the person who's speaking and the devotees who are singing and playing the instruments, but actually the audience play a greater role in how things go. So we all are participating in this together, and I'm very grateful that I've got so much used to calling him Gopal, but no, what is Giridhari Gopal? So easy, but I'm so grateful Shatarupa Mataji got Giridhari Gopal for many reasons, because ultimately our aim, our goal, is to chant lovingly and to chant purely, and to be eventually in Sangha of devotees who are all purely chanting and they're just absorbed in the holy name and the Lord's pastime. And Giriraj is such a merciful incarnation of the Lord. Like, he just fulfills your wishes. So as we are going through this workshop, like a journey, before I do that, let me explain who are all on there. So we have, of course, Srila Prabhupada. We have him on the altar, but I felt it's nice to have in front of us. And then we have Haridas Thakur and the holy names. And then we have Narottam Das Thakur on the altar, and then we have Gopala Bhatta Goswami on the altar. So we have our acharyas. They come here to bless us, to inspire us, and to do the magic. So these are the amazing personalities on the altar. Like I said, this is going to be an interactive session that we're going to have with ourselves. So what is very crucial or critical is we allowing ourselves to be vulnerable with the holy name. And I love how Brené Brown says, if people are wondering what's vulnerability, she says the willingness to open oneself up emotionally, share one's thoughts and feelings honestly, and express genuine authenticity without fear of judgment or rejection. So, that's actually, if we can do that in our relationship with the holy name, it's amazing what holy name, like how holy name reciprocates with you. So, let's take just, 25, 30 seconds, and just, get into that space of vulnerability and ask yourself, am I ready for that, to be vulnerable? And honestly, let your emotions come, like whatever it is, don't stop you. Nobody's looking at you except me. I'll be watching you, but actually whoever is next to you is not really, because I've realized that when such things are happening, it's your journey, your thing. You're not really watching what the other person is doing. So and doing it in the association of devotees, it's so much more easier. And it's so much more like, you feel the energy, so it's easy to do it. So let's just take 25 seconds or 30 seconds to just settle in and it is said that with our mundane senses, it is not so easy Krishna is not accessible actually. Because Krishna, is completely transcendental in the spiritual world. It's not easy. But he's so kind that he comes in the form of his name and he becomes accessible. And then Lord Chaitanya taught us how to access him through his name. And in that sense, Krishna is not different from his name. But that's a journey to actually realize it. We hear it, but it's a journey. And at some point, we all started that journey with the holy name. Willingly or unwillingly or happily or grudgingly or whatever the reasons are, but we started that journey, and it's really a great fortune that by Sukriti from past life or this life that we have been gifted, like in Madhurya Kadambini it is said, it's the Madhyamadhikari devotee who gives that name, who gives, that connection. So we are so fortunate that, such a person came into our lives and, gave us that gift. And our journey is all about how to value and treasure that gift. We already have that gift, a gift that will give us eternal happiness, eternal joy. Whatever we are spiritually wishing for, we have that. It's Chintamani, we have it. But it's our journey, to how do I value it and how do I treasure it? And a big part of it, sometimes as devotees, we ignore, especially when we are a younger devotee, is we have this body, which is also a gift, but we don't pay much attention to it because, especially when we are devotees, we're thinking of chanting, hearing, reading. But actually, let's start quickly. I'll go through, this is something very basic, but it's nice with the flow because I didn't want to start because for me, it was very important, like how important the body is, because now I know at 50 plus, like my body is really not cooperating. So I'm saying, oh my God, my body is now really making me feel, hey, I'm there. You ignored me all these years. Now you better pay attention to me. So it is said that the super soul is in our heart. The Paramatma is in our heart. So it is a temple. Our body is a temple and we need to really treat it with respect. So what I've realized is when I made a conscious effort, actually, that there has to be balance of taking care of my spiritual life and my physical body, I thought that small things actually helped with my japa in the morning. So we'll start with the physical aspect of, our spiritual life. So as soon as you wake up, when we offer that obeisances, of course, we are expressing the gratitude to the spiritual master, and we are trying to, pray that let this day be, as much as I can be, focused and why I'm here, what's my purpose. I may tend to forget it. So, my dear spiritual master, please help me, and I'm so grateful that I have one more day to chant the holy name by your mercy. But if you physically see, when you're really bending, your back is really stretching too. After the slumber, at 17, 20, you don't have all those issues. You have those issues when you're 40 plus, then when you bend like this, it feels good. And actually you feel the energy flow. And I was thinking our Vedic system is, our acharyas didn't spill out all these things, but they incorporated all these things beautifully. It's just we have to realize it. And when I started, so paying obeisances, there's a spiritual benefit. There's also a physical benefit. It softens the heart, but it also relaxes the body. It allows the energy to flow. And then, make your beds. This is especially for young devotees, young chanters. Don't wait for your mom and dad to come and make your bed. Because you really want to chant. Krishna likes to come in nice, neat place. So if you want to have a relationship with Krishna and you're inviting Krishna, then tell him that you're interested in inviting him. These are very simple house rules, if you want to say, but it's sometimes very hard, But it helps actually, because instead of just jumping, getting into the shower, or, I don't shower in the first thing in the morning. I have elaborate deity worship, so I like to chant first. So I wash my face. So it's like not, okay, take my beads and do it. So I would say wake up, then offer, you make your bed, you brush your teeth. 30 seconds of just try massaging your head. And the nerves relax so much. And actually you come out of the slumber of sleep, especially on days that you didn't have a good night's rest and you're not really fresh. That 30 seconds awakens your body, even the consciousness, you feel fresh. When you wash your face and you do that, it really makes a huge difference. And I don't do yoga in the morning because it takes away a lot of time. I have to leave for work at 7:45. But I do 10 minutes of, exercise. I like to do the Shaolin exercises, which he focuses on all the joints. So it really gets me ready. Now the energy is flowing and I'm ready, and it gives me my 20 minutes of self-time. Very important. I'm doing this as a self-care. And this itself brought so much of softness. I felt finally, because I always felt I'm pushing aside my needs, I'm pushing aside, but just doing these little things calmed me down and made me feel, no, I'm taking care of myself. I'm not ignoring myself, even though they're small things. You can find your own thing. So the next thing is, after taking care of the physical aspect, a very important thing, and I would really encourage all devotees, if you're not already doing, is, I know some devotees do it, is creating a sacred place for your japa. Very important. Because when you know that, this is the place where I'm going to meet Krishna every day, it has, over a period of time, it builds in you, and it's like, and that sacred space, then, you read something, you offer prayers, it happens, that's a sacred space. You create that energy. And then, like how Maharaj talked about setting intention, every day you have to go back to your intention. And some days the intention may be very different. You have a busy day and it can change, but having an intention and spending a couple of minutes thinking about an intention before your japa, I'm telling you, it helps in concentration. Because intention helps with focus. You know why you're doing, even though you're doing the same thing every day, but still every day bringing your attention to your intention, it really helps with focus. And then over a period of time, when you're focusing your micro goals, that is like next 1 week, next 1 month, next 6 months, they are micro goals. But eventually, it builds, and you will see a significant shift over a period of time where you're moving towards your actual goal of chanting with feelings and chanting with love. You start feeling that. It may not be steady, but it may be the intermittent, a few days of that or a day of that. But that experience is so amazing that you can hold on to it and then move on to the next, even when the obstacles are there. So we have to do this, and please be very realistic about your micro goals. Don't have lofty goals, then you'll be frustrated. Then offering prayers. We all do that. The standard is, yeah. Oh, no, I didn't. So it's in my notes. I intentionally didn't know because Maharaj covers this so many times in his lectures. I'm just trying to go fast. So Mangalacharan prayers, we all know it serves two purposes. It kind of removes the obstacles, and also it's like an expression of an intention to complete the task we are starting. And then devotees have specific prayers that they would like to chant. I personally have incorporated over a period of time. I offer prayers to my japa, beads. And we'll do that later, we'll share what that is. And now creating that sacred space in your heart. So we have talked about creating the external sacred space. Now creating that, it's very simple for different, but I'll just keep to one: gratitude. Gratitude really opens the heart. Really, it's the perfect, I would say, medicine or whatever you want to call, to cut the knots in the heart or whatever is bothering to the heart. So gratitude is actually, it needs to be cultivated on a day-to-day basis. It's not once in a while. And this is the hard part for me, but I'm sharing this because some people do struggle to visualize, like I said, or think and be affective. But at the same time, I also see these as gifts that I've received. These are not mine because I really know they are not my thing, but it has helped me. It is like when we say gratitude, people say it's so mechanical. But I'm talking about writing something in relationship with the holy name, not other aspects of your bhakti life. And when I started doing that exercise, and I shared a part of one of my entries yesterday, and I thought I'll share something that one day I wrote before chanting, and that was my meditation as I was chanting, because those entries can become your meditation. And it's not that every day it will be different. You actually
Hare Krishna, we can pause here for today and then we can see if anyone would like to share whatever they like the most from today's session. Any volunteers?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, please.
Yes, Mataji, a wonderful session by Mataji. So today, like Krishna is not different from his name. So he present in his name. So it's very important. We should hear the holy name, Mataji. And Mataji explained nicely about physical accept means how we have to take care of our body. That is also very important. Maharaj many times mentioned health is important. So if we take care, then our whatever doing in spiritual activities, it will go nicely. That I like, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, you shared two very nice points. In fact, that point is very important that the Krishna's name is non-different from Krishna, and to realize it itself is a journey. And also what Hemangi Mataji mentioned about taking care of one's health, because that's actually the temple where God resides. So these both very nice points you covered. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So it is
Hare
about it is again about the physical part only, but but whatever we have been asked to do, we think that it is only for the spiritual. But then Himangi Mataji actually related it with the physical health also. Like when we are bending and we are doing few things, it is actually helping the physical body also, not only the uh, spiritual sense. So everything is planned and designed scientifically. But as she said, we will have to understand it. So then I like it very well. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So here one point I like, so we should have a micro goals which are realistic, which we need to accomplish within a short, like next day what should I do, and next week or next month. So we should have goals. Otherwise, even Shyamkund Prabhu also always stress about that. We should have a goals. Otherwise, we will not do anything. We will do here and there. But yeah, we should be goal oriented as well as quality. Thank you very much.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. And that is important. Once you have set micro goals, then it becomes easier to achieve your long-term goals as well. Thank you for sharing that point. Hare Krishna. I see Brajeshwari Pran Mataji on the call. Hare Krishna Mataji, we haven't heard you for a very long time. Will you be able to speak today? Say something. Okay, maybe she is busy. Okay, Shambhallapi Mataji, anything from your side? Hare Krishna.
Haribol Mataji Dandavats. Yeah, Mataji, the one point where Hemangi Mataji mentioned that this body is a temple for the Supreme Lord staying inside. We should give respect and we should maintain it properly. Yeah, that in I was not thinking in that way. Whatever I do mistakes, I feel guilty and I will not care about myself generally. And but because of the Supreme Lord's mercy, I have good health. Even though I don't care about it, it never did any trouble, give any trouble to me till now. I don't know before, but later what happens. But now it's fine. But I try to keep this in mind that Supreme Lord is there, so we need to take care of the body too. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely said. Yes, Dhiralalit Prabhu. Please, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Many years ago, I heard that like some devotee was quoting Srila Prabhupada, and so Prabhupada used to say, that's what I heard from the devotee. So Prabhupada used to say that don't be surprised if we are getting many devotees in our movement. Just be surprised that how many of them stay. And not only just stay, but how many actually stay happily. So I did not understand that much. I was very new that what is the problem? We can stay happily in Krishna consciousness. But then as the time progressed, I saw that different devotees have different challenges. And then I also faced challenges. And then we came across Nityananda Prana Prabhu and Hemangi Mataji. It's a nice couple. And how to take this bhakti in a very practical manner and in a very loving way and very soothing way, and how we can experience actually joy is actually when we understood and practically experienced when we got the association. So today when Himangi Mataji was giving all the practical steps, I felt so nice that, okay, how much of like giving importance to the body, sacred space, and this, that, there's so much of arrangement. So much practical things are there just for about chanting. Likewise, we have heard many of their discourses on relationships, parenting, and how do we connect the Krishna consciousness to the parenting, the relationships, to the job, and everything. Such a practical and experienced version I actually did not hear from anyone in ISKCON. So, because of this nice couple and the devotees who are following them nicely, we are actually really experiencing joy in this Krishna consciousness in a very practical and doable manner, Mataji. So just wanted to share express my gratitude for Mataji and Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nicely said. In fact, I also fully agree with what you said. Whatever little I know about Nityananda Prabhu and Hemangi Mataji, really beautiful. They're such a beautiful couple. Whatever they say, it makes so much of sense. And really, I also feel we are very actually fortunate to have the association of these type of people in this particular. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Kumarika Mataji, anything from your side?
Yes, I like everything what Hemangi Mataji said. Important thing is to restate the intention. Yes, I do make intention. I write down my intention and set some micro goals also. But every day I did not think it was important to restate that intention so that will help in concentration, she says. Another thing, she started the preparation from morning onwards. after getting up. But Nityananda Pran Prabhu once in his lecture, he said, if you are going to chant nicely, the preparation should happen from the previous night. You have to prioritize the chanting and sleep sufficiently early to get up. It may not be possible for all of you, but then, if possible, you should make a provision that you get adequate sleep and don't feel sleepy in the morning when you're chanting. Means you have to make such a schedule that you retire early with the intention that I'll get up and chant in the morning. That is most important job that I have to do. So the preparation even starts from the previous night. That's what I wanted to share.
Thank you, Mataji. Shamkun Prabhu, now can you say anything?
I have something to say, but I want to hear you first, Mataji. Something, anything from your end that you'd like to add?
Yes, in fact, I agree with whatever everyone today said, and also what I like very much is Himangi Mataji when she said that chanting on the bed is fine, but if one particular sacred place is fixed upon where chanting can be done, so then I could actually recollect what you had shared one day in one of our sessions, and ever since I have started doing that, I have chosen a place in front of my temple area, whatever it is. And it actually is helping me a lot, and it actually helps in building that connection. So that was one part which I could correlate very much. So thank you, Prabhu, to you also for what you keep on doing for this entire group. So immensely grateful to you. And this particular lecture which you have chosen, it is very nice. I mean, we are able to correlate it, each and everything what she is saying. It's as if, I mean, it's so much of learning we can take from this lecture. So thank you. Thanks to you, Prabhu, once again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Before it's 7:07, I have a little to say, but anybody else would like to add, say either Guru Prabhu, Harisham Prabhu, or Yugala Kishore Prabhu? Anything you'd like to add before I say?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I was saying that when Mataji is speaking about Krishna conscious practical tips and saying that she speaks so much of deep realization. It's not just a theoretical, and by seeing that, as the Lalit Prabhu says, that Susukham Kartum Avyayam, that feeling of that Krishna consciousness is not just a mere theoretical exercise, rather is a very deep, profound relationship-based practice. And the relationship with Krishna begins with the relationship with spiritual master. And whenever we hear Mataji that my relationship with my spiritual master actually get just enhanced by hearing from her such a deep realization. And her sentences, her every word actually coming from deep gratitude feeling that she had in her consciousness. And other thing that Kumarika Mataji said, that attention follows intention, and Maharaj take to the next step, quoting Vaisheshika Prabhu, that wherever there is attention, the energy actually flows in that direction. So it is very deep, profound realization statements that comes from Mataji. Every statement is like a nectar. And that is why she is talking about that health is not just some bodily things. She does not see that. She thinks everything connected with Krishna and being grateful to that. And that is what the devotees actually is, that whatever we do, that anything and everything is connected with Krishna and has to be used in the service of Krishna. It's amazing realization, and being opportunity to hear Mataji. Thanks to you and Mataji giving opportunity to hear, and very, very grateful to Himangi Mataji and Nityanand Prabhu, that very rare to have such a deep soul who had practicing Krishna consciousness, going in very deep, not on the surface level. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's always very nice to hear from you. Hare Krishna. Guru Prabhu, anything from your side? Hare Krishna. So then Vivek Prabhu, would you like to add something? 1 or 2 points before we can move to Shankan Prabhu?
Hare Krishna ji, done with all devotees. So the point of restating the Sankalpa, that point was something which I liked. And as other devotees very nicely mentioned, the realization part which Mataji brings when she speaks, the practical aspects of it, is what I would also try to learn more and more. Mataji, that's all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes, Shamkun Prabhu, over to you, and Mukund Mohari Prabhu and Rajeshwari Mataji, if you can hear
Oh,
from
they have left, Mataji. So they left just on Saturday.
Okay, okay.
One. Few points here, Mataji. They may not be in a sequence or anything, but that's what it is here. One, I'll go from something simple to something much more. One of the this is like the point which others too touched upon. One should treat one's body with respect, as the body is a temple. One aspect of it is taking care of our health, but the other aspect of it is also that there are so many entry points and exit points in a body. There are eyes, there are ears, there's nose, even the skin has something there, etc. And there are some holes in the skin too. So there are different orifices, as what is typically written in the Vedic literature, the translations of the Vedic literature. What we take in and what we give out is also important there. For example, what we see is also important because there is God within, there is Paramatma within us, who is the observer. What would we like to see on TV or on a mobile phone, or just go out in the world and see there? That's also important. Um, for example, I used to conduct a class for young kids in the age group of 14 to 24 in the temple nearby. And just to be very relevant to those kids, one of the classes was how to overcome sexual attraction. And this was a point which I had learned from others, which I told them that when you're trying, this is your age for you to do all kinds of exploration. And that includes also sexual exploration. But what is it that will keep you afloat is certain principles. And one of those principles is, note that there are many things which will titillate the mind. But just see if it, if the Paramatma were within the heart and is observing it, will he be happy with it? Are you trying to just use things of this world, that is the body that he has created, of ourselves and of others, and do you want it to be used to just use it something like how the devatas and the demons, they churned the ocean, and they churned the milk ocean, and they got some nectar, they got some poison. What do you want to do with this? Do you want to just get some nectar and some you want to just get some nectar, and you maybe there will be some poison which is a side effect of it? If you do all of that, still that is not the ultimate thing in this world. Even those the devatas who got the nectar from the ocean, still they were not fully satisfied at the end of it. So think through that. In other words, we should be cautious of what we do with our body, what we see, what we hear, and even what we think. That's one. Second point, I'm just going from last to first in one sense. Willingly or unwillingly, we sometimes take up the devotional service. And even with respect to others too, once in a while, it may appear that when uh, to assist others to take up the process of devotional service, we may have to tell something which they would not be willing to do. For example, um, if you find a person who is suitably favorable, either in terms of their sukriti, that is the the credits that they have in their life, or in terms of a particular situation in life where they are looking for something, help them to chant. Tell them that there is something called as the holy name. There is the value in chanting the holy name, and help them. We all should do that to somebody in this world, not in a mood that we are going to make them into devotees, but just that may the holy name who is vibrating on our tongue, may he be of some value in their life too. At least now, he's definitely of value, but let him come into their life too. Let him dance on their tongue too. So that when we say that, it looks like the other person, in 99% of the time, he or she will be unwilling. But it's okay to be unwilling in the beginning. Everything starts with a little unwillingness. We have to be ready for that unwillingness. And that unwillingness, in terms of what others express, leads to the next thing, which is unwillingness on our own part. This is the first point that she said about the vulnerability. Mataji was speaking about uh, her own, I mean, like she was giving the example of vulnerable. Well, she gave the uh, definition from Brené Brown, etc. And this is what, for me, like treating the body as a temple, the willingness and the unwillingness, and finally leading to vulnerability, coming in the reverse direction. Personally, for me, uh, I would say one aspect of my life, devotional life, opened because of her, because I could find that I could be vulnerable to her. And that vulnerability, and that same thing, because I had that relationship with her, she was also at many times she was vulnerable in her own feelings, etc. But there is something else that I want to add to this whole thing about vulnerability. This vulnerability starts with a little unwillingness, because uh, for quite some time we have thought of ourselves as great. We have been fed into our mind that we are here to overcome challenges and succeed. But it is the big, as we become vulnerable, that we actually truly begin to succeed in life. Because vulnerability means I recognize my smallness, and I recognize my need, that I need help. One nice example we have is that of Dhruva Maharaj, a very determined boy, even at a very young age, 3 years, 4 years old, whatever that be, he did tapasya, very powerful. But the tapasya transformed him to saying that I need help. And and that softness of the heart finally led him to understand that my conception of success is very different from what actual success is. When God came in front of him, he said, I can't even pray, I can't even offer right words of appreciation for you. And even the power to appreciate the Supreme Lord came from the Supreme Lord. And when he became so vulnerable, it finally led to the last stage of his life, where he was about to pass away. And as he was about to pass away, the way the Bhagavatam says is, death approached him. And when death approached him, he also saw a transcendental Vaikuntha airplane. And when he saw death approach him, he didn't care for death. He put his foot on the head of death. He got up on the airplane, which is as big as a house. It seems to be very poetic, but there's a lot of meaning in it. When death approaches us, it's very similar to in our own life. When things beyond us come to our life, we just accept that, yeah, it can come. I mean, all of us get very much attached to the body and the circumstances of our life. Nobody is willing to leave. And here is Dhruva Maharaj saying, this body, I'm just the meaning of the phrase, he stepped on death, is saying the death is approaching him. He didn't bother to leave his wonderful body as such, and he just stepped on it and he went into the airplane. So we need to let go of our unwillingness to be discomforted. We need to do that. And when we do that now, when we die, at that time, the ultimate discomfort of death will come. And we'll be ready to go there. So one of the things in with respect to the vulnerability here is about how we handle uh, how we objectively see things which don't happen our way. And second is the eagerness with which we are ready to let go of either good things or bad things. It doesn't matter. It's not just the willingness to let go of bad things, but even the willingness to let go of good things in life, so that there is something higher that can be done, or something that is more valuable, like in the case of Dhruva Maharaj. And as Mataji was speaking, this is the final point. As Mataji was speaking, um, I have been observing Mataji. What, it's almost 20 plus years now that I've been having conversations with her, speaking to her as such, 22, almost 21 years now. Initially, she was not any kind of a person who would give lectures. But for me, what I had, my value, the value I have for her initially stemmed from the principle that was taught to us, that the wife of one's teacher is also, if not greater, is equally, um, what's the right word to use? Not, I don't want to use the word qualified, but equally capable of giving us what the teacher wants. In other words, the Guru Patni has that very same potency, and that's and she's capable of giving those very same impressions, and many times even in a much more better way. Because in general, the Guru Patni has the softness aspect to it, the Guru has the strict aspect to it, to doing things. And the Guru has to be strict because he has to cut through the illusion of the mind. And in various ways, for me, Nityananda Pran Prabhu helped me as a nice, in some sense, a guru to cut through certain layers of illusion. And what Hemangi Mataji did was to take it, to give the soft touch to it. And then that soft touch helped. And there were many times it was not soft, it was even a strict touch. Even she was strict at many times. It was that, and that was still helpful. And as this relationship developed, what I found in her is, in one-on-one conversations, she would go in depth about how to approach one's spiritual life. But she was not used to speaking in public. And so the first time she spoke in public, I had the audacity to tell her, Mataji, when you speak, you tell half a sentence or quarter of a sentence and then you rush to the next one. And like a mother accepting what a child says, she said, yeah, maybe it's right. And today, when you see her conversation, you don't see that anymore. I mean, she has developed it. The reason I'm bringing this point here is the whole point of giving a good presentation, completing sentences, having a nice vocabulary, etc. All of these are important. Nice. But behind that is the hard work that one has put of following one's, like in her case, following her spiritual master. She has followed her husband, made her intentions and her approach similar to that of her spiritual master and her husband. And when that is present, the rest of the other superficial things like presentation and others will come naturally. That doesn't take much. It is the role of a good audience to sift through unnecessary stuff and rather take the essence. And she has that essence. And we are grateful that she's giving us that essence. That's it, Mataji. Thank you. I took too much time today.
Thank you, Prabhu. It was very nice hearing your experience and sharing with Himangi Mataji. So thank you so much. So we will discontinue here and we will resume tomorrow. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji.